Okay, we're in 5.12 and we're talking about functions today. Functions, function notation is in the form of just f of x, but you can think of this f of x right here as just y. It's just a fancy way to say y. We're just now saying that it's a function of x or whatever variable we're talking about. We're taking y, this right here is the dependent variable because it depends on what x you put in. Whatever this outcome is right here depends what x you put there. X is what we call the independent variable. So here's an example of a function. We have f of x equals 3x plus 2. Now in the past we just wrote y equals 3x plus 2. That's what we wrote. But now we're going to write it as a function, and it's f of x equals 3x plus 2. And we might say, there might be an example where we go, well, what happens if we say f of 0? What does that equal? All that means is that right here, this 0 is now our x. So wherever you see an x, we're going to substitute a 0 in. We're going to evaluate it. So then we can go 3 times 0 plus 2. So f of 0 equals 2, because 3 times 0 plus 2. So we can now see that our x is 0 and our y, because f of x, just this right here is a fancy way to say y, is equal to 2. So you can see both ordered pairs right there. So let's do another one. We have f of 1. So it might say, well, what's f of 1? If this is our function, if we put 1 in, what are we going to get out for f of x? Well, if we put 1 in for x, we'd have to evaluate our x with 1. And f of 1 is equal to 3 plus 2, or f of 1 equals 5. Okay? So now we can see our x value is 1, our y value is 5, and it's all labeled right there. All right, let's try another one. I'm going to erase this. And if we have h of x equals 5x squared minus 7, okay? Our function is h, and we're putting in x values. This is our function. What happens for h of 1, h of 0, and h of negative 1? Now this might be how they ask you on Connect Math or something. They're saying, here's your function. Find our value when we evaluate 1, 0, and negative 1. So we're going to substitute in our value. Here's 1. We put 1 wherever there's an x. So then this would be 5 times, what's 1 squared? 1. 5 times 1 is 5 minus 7. H of 1, h of 1 equals negative 2. We put h of 0 would be 5 times 0 squared minus 7. H of 0 equals 0 squared is still 0. 5 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 7 is negative 7. H of negative 1. 5 times negative 1 minus 7. H of negative 1 equals 5 times negative 1 is negative 5 minus 7. H of negative 1 equals negative 5 minus 7 would be negative 12. Now we have our 3 values, and let's see if I have anything else. Nope. There's some examples for functions. If you have any questions, ask me during our Zoom calls or email me.